Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the COOP Base 1810 release training. I am Jason Reed.
And I'm Stephanie Raven.
We expect this class to last about an hour and a half.
As you joined us today, all phones were placed on mute to eliminate background noise and any noise interruptions. To facilitate answering questions you have during the broadcast, we ask that you use the chat feature.
You can find the chat feature by hovering over the bottom of the presentation screen. You should then see the toolbar with a series of icons. Click the one that says chat, then select to presenter and type your question. Questions may be sent at any time. We'll be stopping throughout the presentation to answer these questions. We appreciate your attendance today, and with that, let's get started.
Thank you for attending the COOP Base 1810 release training. For those of you who are attending today, we've already had one release training session, and that was last Wednesday during the same time frame. And today is our final class, and it will go till 4 o'clock. We will have this class we are recording this class, so this will be available to you and your staff for review once it goes to our review team, and then we will post it. Okay, there. Our release live dates are online credit unions are October 21st, and self-processors will be on November 5th and November 6th. The teller member service section of our release will include ATM and debit card closing built into the closed membership, access closed sub-accounts via phone operator, quoting loan payoffs using a tool and not just phone operator, enhancement to the secondary names inquiry, and money order servicing available with co-op shared branching.
So the first thing that we're going to discuss is the ATM debit card closing built into closed membership screen.
During the closing process, if you go to an account that has an ATM or debit card attached to it and you try to close the account, you get a message that says there is a card attached to the screen. We now are allowing you to access the ATM and debit card maintenance right from the close account screen. So there's a new button on that screen that says ATM and debit card maintenance, and it's taking you to the tool number 11. So the ATM card maintenance, rather than having you go back out of this option and then closing the card and then coming back into closing accounts or closing memberships, you'll have the ability to do that right then and there and not have to get out of another option and go back in. So it alleviates that canceling out, going back in, and back and forth. The next is accessing closed accounts via phone operator.
All right, so we have the phone operator update. This will now allow you to access closed accounts with the new closed accounts button.
And the next feature is being able to quote a loan payoff using the tool and not the phone, just the phone operator function.
So the new tool number is 1325, which is called Loan Payoff Estimator. And here you can have direct access to the loan payoffs quote.
And currently the payoff statement can only be accessed through phone operator, but now we're giving you the tool that Jason mentioned. So that'll be nice. So not everybody will need to have access to phone operator. You can go right to the payoff. Yay.
And so this tool has all the loan payoff features, such as the printing of the correct loan payoff form, if configured, and calculations of finance charges, fines, and interest due that can be included with your payoff estimate. You can even calculate the payoff for mortgages with this tool.
Just like in phone operator.
Enhancements to secondary names inquiry.
Okay, so the secondary name inquiry inquiry, the screen enhancements are sortable columns, toggling to show relationships, so we toggle between columns and comments, and toggle to show birth date and social security number, and then we even give a link to show more information. Many credit unions have asked for the ability to view a secondary owner's contact information from the main inquiry or phone operator screen. Right now, in order to see a secondary owner's information, like email or phone number, you must use account maintenance or another method. There isn't a way right now to currently go in and see more information other than the first screen. So in this release, we've added a window from the secondary names inquiry screen that provides this detail. You'll also be able to see the gender of the secondary owner and any comments your team has entered to explain the relationship between the primary and the secondary owner. The secondary name inquiry screen. So this is the second screen that's going to show you all your information. It just displays all the contact information, and it gives you the ability to print an envelope if necessary. So if you have to send some information to that secondary owner, you can do that from this screen as well.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about the money orders and co-op shared branching.
I forgot what I was doing if I was hitting the space bar. So the new money orders from the shared branching teller processing, and that's the national shared branching or co-op, is the ability to use that M process code. The screen will bring you to the money order or the check screen, just like in shared branching if you use the PROC code C. Now the PROC code M will do the same thing. It gives you the option to fill in the pay to the order of, just like our regular money orders. The money orders are limited to the maximum in the money order configuration, so whatever is configured in your bank ID configuration. And then just like our checks and money orders for regular teller processing, upon post, an OFAC scan is ran on the payee if it is filled in. All right, so we just went through the teller part of the teller portion, or teller and member service. Now we're going to go to any questions that you have. I know that there was a lot to take in. My favorite right now is the ability to close the ATM and debit card through the closed feature rather than having to go back out. And I don't know, I start thinking, and I like all of them, where you're able to view closed accounts through phone operator, and the option to do money orders through shared branching. So there's a lot of features just in teller member services. All right, so I don't see that we have any questions at this time. Let's go ahead and move to our next section.
All right, so next up, we're going to talk about the Asterisk Intelligence Spotlight. Here we'll discuss Visual Analytics Tools, VAT, new Pay Vera subscribers dashboard, new Activity Validation dashboard, and new Activity Loan Productivity Analysis dashboard. So first up, we have the new Visual Analytics tools used on several dashboards.
Check out the new graphical displays in the following dashboards. So these next tools that are listed have the following features: stacked bar, line chart, and control center. So the tools are 594, portfolio analysis, the EFT usage chart; 20552, open closed account analysis; 20553, open closed membership analysis; 20473, loan risk score analysis; and 20281, contingent liability trend summary. If you're like me, I like color, so all of these charts are very awesome, I think, to use in presentations. Learn with the Asterisk Intelligence as we try out different strategies to display data in a graphical manner. Please send your feedback to our Asterisk Intelligence team at ai@cuanswers.com. They definitely want to hear your feedback. All right, next is the Payable subscribers dashboard.
So here we have a new tool, which is 1106, the Payable Subscriber Analysis Dashboard. Here you can analyze where payments are being made, how much is being paid, the financial profile of members using the bill pay. And again, you can send your feedback here to the settlement EFT@COOAnswers.com. All right, next up we have new loan productivity analysis dashboard.
The new tool, number 1670, Loan Productivity Analysis Dashboard, gives us an at-a-glance of who did what on your loan portfolio, and it's great for working commissions. So basically, you're going to fill in the information here, which is selected. And then you're going to go to the next screen, which gives you the detail. This filters on the previous screen to determine what you're going to see, like I just had stated, but you can choose what's important to you without having to create a custom query. So you're able to get that detail by the previous screen of what you need, and you're able to view it here. This is a new dashboard, so we ask to send your feedback to lender VP@COOAnswers, please, to tell them what you think.
All right, next we're going to talk about new activity validation dashboard.
Tool number 1220, the daily GL transaction activity validation dashboard, gives you two options to view by transaction history and by GL history. On the first screen, we've chosen transaction history, and you are able then to choose by origin code, transaction type, branch. You can choose to see month by month or previous month. You are then able to go in to show the details from the previous summary screen and then drill down your information. Tool 1220 also gives you the GL history as an example here. We went in and selected the GL history information, and then after hitting enter, you are able to then see the detail from the previous screen. All right, any questions from the Asterisk Intelligence project? And I feel like I just talked about dashboards, right? So any questions on any of the dashboards that we just went over? I just would like to reiterate, if there are any questions, you are able to ask the questions through your chat feature, and that comes right into our, what we call a group chat, and then we can ask those questions verbally and answer them. If there's anything that we cannot answer right away, we can take that back to our QC or quality control team and ask them, and they can get, yes, they can. All right, going forward.
All right, next we're going to talk about the new EFT projects. First one that we have up is infrastructure update, the VAU/ABU mandate, order card without sending record to vendor in batch maintenance, and the ability to override credit card number when creating a new card. You may have heard from your EFT provider about a new mandate referred to as the Visa Account Updater, the VAU, and MasterCard's Automatic Billing Updater, ABU. This mandate allows merchants to automatically update their customers' stored card details, similar to how ATM debit card orders already work. You'll simply uncheck Send Maintenance when ordering a card. Using the Unlock Card feature will allow you to input the credit card number from any pre-printed card stock, or simply to add a card to CBase that might have been issued directly from the vendor site. This works just like how you currently do for debit cards. We're also going to talk about change the way funds are released to member at ATMs and enhancements to payments applied to credit card balances.
All right, the first tool that was enhanced is tool number 355, Electronic Deposit Hold Group Configuration. The new option on there is released funds based on aggregated total of all ATM deposits made, and this is per membership in a single day. The we enhanced the data on the screen to make it easier to compare codes against the other. So on the first screen we have listed are the codes, what the description is, what the type is, if they are configured for immediate availability, and what that amount is, the hold number of days, if they allow the Reg CC release, the tolerance for teller checks, and the mail direct post information. So that's all on the first screen now. Remember, before it was just the code and the description. So now there's no guessing. We can see it straight out there, and you can either highlight to edit, delete, or view it, and you come to the next screen. The second screen in tool 355 has the option now to check aggregated daily deposit by membership. Once that's checked, you then answer the following questions. The aggregated daily, the minimum amount to release per day, the maximum amount to release per day. And that can be withdrawn from any source, ATM, teller, online banking, etc. And then the cash withdrawal limits at the ATM still apply. The machine limit is set with the vendor. So if you have limits on how much can be withdrawn on a certain day, that is still will apply if it's with the vendor. So if your member goes and withdraws $1,000 and the limit's only $500, that's still in place. This can be configured for teller outside checks and mail direct post deposits. Of course, with the mail direct, it's imported batches only if the configuration is checked. All right, next screen. The next enhancement, the aggregate electronic hold group example. So now we've taken and we've shown an example of how this will look if this is configured. So the example is of a membership set with an aggregated electronic deposit hold group code with a maximum release of $100 a day. The two different deposits were done on 9/6, so the aggregated deposit is $400. Sorry about that. And then we're going to release 100 of that. So it shows the two $200 transactions, then the $200 being held, and then 100 of the other $200 being released. So then it shows in the uncollected funds activity, the 200, the 100, and the 200. So it's going to read just like your secured funds history, just like the uncollected funds history, so you can see how that's being held, what's being held. Okay. The next enhancements are that we changed the way history records are recorded on ATM deposits so that even if funds were released immediately, they will still be recorded in the history. So no matter what is being released and what is being held, it's all recorded on that history, so there's no guessing or no calculating. We've expanded the uncollect, or UNCOLL, and the uncollected HIST, the UNCOLHST tables. A note, we will be discontinuing both the uncollected funds release reports. So that is what we refer to, or you've heard us refer to in the past, as the PUNCOD and the PUNCOD 1. And we ask that you use the history dashboard via the account inquiry for your information.
Next, we're going to talk about enhancements to payments applied to credit card balances. We made a change to the way that payments are applied to credit card balances to better handle the possibility of a member having balances on multiple rate buckets of the same type, such as multiple balance transfer promotional rate buckets.
Although the system has always posted first to the highest interest rate, then to the oldest loan category, then the priority from the loan category config. For example, you may have cash advance first, then balance transfer, and then purchase. After that hierarchy had been satisfied, any buckets that were the same in those attributes are paid in any random order.
So now we've added a fourth level to that flow so that if there are buckets with the same rate, loan category, and bucket type, the system will pay those rate buckets based on sequence number, starting with the lowest sequence number on the bucket, the BT001, then the BT002, and so on.
So now you understand why those numbers after each bucket ID, being BT, PU, and CA, they all have a purpose. All right, so we do have a question actually, and it says, in the release document, there is not very much information on VAU. Where do we find more information on what you said in this webinar? Unchecking, etc. The VAU and the VAU, so Visa and MasterCard, we ask that you contact the settlement EFT team for more information on that. And then I believe it was the ordering the card, right? I'm guessing that's what Robin's talking about here. So when you order an ATM or a debit card, and I'm just using this as kind of a picture. So when you order an ATM or debit card, you have the ability at the bottom, or I think there's a box to check the unlock. There's a lock, and you have the option to uncheck it, where you can unlock that number and you can override the card number and put that in. So that's one of the options that's now on the credit card maintenance screen. So you have the ability to unlock the credit card number and overwrite that. So if you are ordering a card from, or get a card number from the vendor and you need to put that on Cubase, that's how you would do that. So the credit card option works just like the ATM and debit card. That goes the same for when you want to order a card or put a card on Cubase, but you don't want to send the maintenance to the vendor. There is a box on ATM and debit card screen that says send maintenance, and you just automatically uncheck that. That is going to look the same for credit cards. So I'm hoping I can place the screen. If you need further information on that, or any where we can show you that, please call into client services, or settlement can help you with that as well. Great question. I also want to point out, if you guys go through the release and you're looking at the documentation as we're presenting, and there is a question from a prior section, please ask us at any time. In the last session, I had no problem going back to the following slides, and we can answer any questions at any time. We ready? All right.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about the management CEO audit. Here, we're going to talk about record beneficial owners and other miscellaneous secondary names on member accounts, enhancements to secondary names inquiry, and employee security enhancements. Also, we'll discuss Harland Clarke now offers full service check ordering, including self-service online ordering, and view credit card billing information at the charge type level.
All right, in this release, we have expanded the SEC names table to allow for a new type, which is the M code for miscellaneous. We've added comments about the secondary owner relationship, like we've stated before, where you can make comments about the relationship between the secondary and the primary. We've changed some verbiage to the secondary name. So now on phone operator and inquiry, if you click on SEC names inquiry, as well as closed accounts and global search and my other account screens, you will just see the secondary name rather than joint owner, miscellaneous owner. You'll see the secondary names first. The secondary names button is conditional. So it will only show if there are secondary names on the account, which I think is really cool because that's your flash screen. If there are no secondary names, you know that you don't have to go any further. Kind of like how the indicator works at the bottom of the phone operator and inquiry screen. If there's a Y or a radio button there, it exists. The teller posting will now show this verbiage change on currently serving window. The member transfer screen will also show that. And opening, maintaining memberships and accounts will link / add secondary names. So just like the example here, you'll see secondary names. And in parentheses, it will show you joint, miscellaneous, or beneficiaries. If there is miscellaneous, the currently serving window will not display secondary names marked with type M. Tool number 523, membership designation configuration. We've designed or redesigned the screen for a cleaner look, and it now includes the type M choice. So I'm just looking at this, I think it's definitely way cleaner, and I am all for that. It's very easy to see. When you choose the specific code, you will see the designation description, what types of memberships it's used for. You'll also see the label, what for the primary name, the joint owner name. But then we have added a field for miscellaneous owner name. So if there's a second type of description that you want to see out there, you can add that. And then again, the Reg E opt-in, opt-out requirements and online banking system field. Next, tool number 1004 is the workflow controls, opening membership and accounts. We've updated the options. So we've deleted the beneficiary and we've made it all joint owners, miscellaneous beneficiary setup. And we've changed joint owner setup to say joint miscellaneous beneficiary setup. So that's the only change you'll see in tool number 1004.
We also have linking a secondary name. We made it to where you can update the relationship type. There's new comments about this relationship field visible via secondary names inquiry, member inquiry, and phone operator, teller posting, and member transfers. And we see that outlined right there, the comments about this relationship.
Didn't know we'd have tongue twisters.
I know.
I feel like all through this.
Viewing a secondary name displays the new comments about this relationship field in member inquiry, and phone operator, and teller posting, and member transfers. Next up, we will talk about employee security enhancements.
Yay. I think this might be my favorite. It's taken over. The new and updated features to the employee security. So first of all, we have the copy feature. The copy feature has obviously been there. However, we've made some enhancements to it. We have added a copy merge or a copy replace. So there isn't just one option to copy, where right now, when you copy, you replace whatever you're copying to. So if you had an existing employee that had specific tool authority and you copy a new employee to them or vice versa, you're losing what was existing. Now you have the choice. So I think that's really cool. The delete archive lock. So before, or I should say currently, we have a delete option. We now have added, or we will add the enhancement to archive and lock. So there'll be 3 options on that delete button: delete, archive, and lock. We've added a reset password. And there are plenty of times that an employee has gone in here to verify what the member's employee ID is, or if they're resetting somebody that's come back from a leave, and they look at the employee ID here and they have to make some other changes. But to change the password, they would actually have to go in to edit the employee profile. And instead of having to do all that work, they just want to reset the password. So we've given them a reset password option here. View archived button is new. So anything that you choose to archive, you are still able to view it once you archive it. And then the profile analysis button is new. So we are able to analyze.
All right, so again, the copy replace, the current method, there's no changes, but now we have the copy merge, and this keeps their existing settings while merging in settings from another ID template, as Stephanie said.
All right, so I see a question popping up, and I'm hoping that we are going to answer these while we talk about this next screen, but if not, let us know and we can further answer some questions. So the new enhancements. Archive is the first enhancement. You are able to save the employee profile in all settings, but it's moving it into a history file. If you think of how archiving works, you're taking it away from it being able to be used, but you're still archiving it so it can be saved to a later date, or you don't want to use it anymore, but you need it archived. So it moves the user from the main employee profile screen to the archive screen. And that allows you to put in an end date. So if that member had ended their employment, maybe they're going on a long leave of absence, so you don't want to put in the end date, but you want to archive them so nobody uses them. The delete option stays the same. If you accidentally create an employee ID and you want to delete it, you can delete that. And then the lock will highlight the ID, and it requires a password before reset. It requires a password reset before using. So basically, there are a few ways to use all of these options. Delete being the last item we want you to use. Delete would be if you're not going to use that, or it was created an error. The archive to me would be archive it until you for sure know that you're not going to use it anymore, then you can bring it back and delete it. Or the lock, meaning this person went on leave, let's lock them, and the only way it can be used is if we reset the password. So hopefully those are good descriptions of the question about what archive and lock do. And then we have the ability to view the archived employee security records through 203.27, but we also have given you a new tool, 1200, and that allows for the update and start date, or it allows update of start date and end date only, so you can update the profile. You can view the profile. Account security is a view only option. Special security is a view only option, and viewing tool assignments, so that's a view only as well. The employee profile analysis also can be accessed through 20327, but also through 1190. And that gives the graphical presentation of your active, locked, and former employees, the top 10 team codes, the top 5 job classes, special security assignments, length of employment analysis, and it allows for you to provide it in a PDF, Excel, and also download it. The charts are clickable for more information, so you're able to close, or you're able to then click and go into that exact screen. And then we've also added a new tool, 1195, can be also accessed through 327 profile analysis. And this is the tool usage analysis. You have search options, so you can search number of employees and number of tools. You can click the column headings. You can show assigned employees, and you can track, or your tracking for some tools will begin with this release. So some of the tracking is going to be only available moving forward.
The employee lookup window enhancements will show enhanced search for capabilities, new columns, and to also view archived.
Tool number 357, Employee Security Audit Report. Our enhancements here, we've added the ability to run the report for specific, or specific to archive as well as active or both. So you have the option to say, I just want archived only, or I want to see active only, or I want to see both. We've also put an indicator on the report that says former employee. The Harland Clarke, we are now offering full service check ordering with self-service online ordering.
So there is a direct login to Harland Clarke via Harland Clarke's website via CUBase when opening a new account, ordering checks, and for reordering checks. This can activate in its Me 247 online banking, where members can order checks when they open a checking account online, and also for reordering. There are most likely charges associated with these enhancements from Harland Clarke and CU Answer, so please make sure to work with Harland Clarke and Earnings Edge to get a quote. If you currently use Harland Clarke for check ordering, again, contact the Earnings Edge team to assist you with the setup for online banking.
Very nice.
All right, so next we're going to discuss the view credit card billing information at the charge type level.
Tool 594, the portfolio analysis for the new EFT usage. We are now allowing a drill down to the charge type level. So we're able to say, this is your member purchases, these are your finance charges, these are your cash advance fees, depending on what code you're choosing or what charge type you're choosing. All right, any questions? We did have a couple of questions come up while we were talking about the new enhancements for the management, CO, and audit. And I just wanted to confirm that we did, one of the questions was, what do the options archive and lock do? And we did review that on a couple of screens past. And just to reiterate, archive will allow for you to archive an employee ID, so it won't be used again, but you can retrieve the information. And lock just locks that employee ID, so you can't change it or you can't make any updates to it. But if you anticipate that employee coming back, you can unlock it by resetting the password. And then the other question was, is there a way to get a copy of the screens? So we do list some of the screenshots in the release document, sorry, the release document, but we also will be posting this PowerPoint and presentation out on our website. So these will be available prior to the release this weekend. So I'm hoping once we get this to Michael today, he can review it and then get it out there for everybody to see. Again, if you do have any questions, and I know I'll say this at the end of the presentation as well, feel free to give client services a call and we can direct you wherever you need to be.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about lending. And here we're going to talk about the ensure collateral is added to title tracking, more participation loan enhancements, and to ensure collateral is added to the title tracking. Tool 223, collateral type configuration. New set the default value in the title tracking box. So you've got that box there that you can check if you want title tracking defaulted.
So if you can imagine, and I just want to add, because it's coming to this year, the end of year again, with the different types of collateral real estate. I always think of it end of year, but if you're in that collateral type definition and you see the list of collateral and you can highlight and set to edit or change or update, and now you'll come to this screen and it will just have that little box that you check. And it's nice because as we train new credit unions, that was always the one thing that they always asked us, is this something that you can turn on as a default so we won't forget to put it on? So now we've added that. Oh, go ahead, Jason, sorry, I'll just keep talking.
So we've updated the screen to also include a suspended flag. And then we have new add and delete buttons down at the bottom there.
Oh, so it is edit. See,
yeah.
So here's the screen that I was talking about, and we've beefed this up a little bit too. A lot of changes. I like the fact of going right into the tool, you see the changes like the uncollected codes or the electronic deposit hold group codes. And these codes where you can see you might just see what you need right here rather than have to go in and risk accidentally editing or something. More participation loan enhancements. Exciting.
So tool number 577, participation loan balances verification report, now allows the end of month member account balance to be compared with the new participation loan account balance.
Another enhancement is the ability to export the final version of the participation loan settlement detail report. It's generated when a settlement work file is posted. That's through tool 314, which is the 5th part of the participation loan create post participation loan payment work file. That's a lot. That's a big title. It's part 5. Check export final settlement report to create that file to use in report builder or query. All right, that's it for lending enhancements. Do we have any questions with lending? I know I said this report before, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, but we will have time at the end of the session if anybody thinks of questions or finally gets a chance to go through everything after we talk about it. So don't feel rushed like you think you might have a question or you need to go back to something. We will have time at the end of class.
All right, next we're going to discuss the new features for accounting in back office. The upper age limit added for traditional IRA contributions. There's a one-click scan for open payables maintenance with multiple items. We'll be discussing beneficiary reporting available for Roth IRAs. Escrow disbursing process improvements. We will also cover accounts payable enhancements, audit loan insurance debt protection rate change prior to implementation, stop payment on general ledger ACH transactions, and also the upper age limit added for traditional IRA contributions.
Starting with the upper age limit added for traditional IRA contributions, in 2019, the IRA balance file records, which will be created on January 1st, the enhancements, we will have members who will reach an age of 70 and a half during the tax year will now be given a contribution limit of 0. Updates can definitely be made if using tool 896 to update IRA balance information.
Okay, next, we're going to discuss the one-click scan for open payables maintenance with multiple items.
Tool 998 has an enhancement, and that tool is work with outstanding invoices. New to this tool is the one-click feature for scanning an item into your e-document vault. This was not here before, so now you have the option to scan it and the open payables maintenance rather than scanning it on the vendor screen. When you have a vendor that has already been created, you want to be able to look at that invoice and then be able to scan it or file it where necessary. Now you don't have to wait to go to the second or third screen. You can do it right here, and then you are able to file it, or once you scan it, recycle it or shred it. Beneficiary reporting available for Roth IRAs is next.
So we can record distribution tracking for Roth IRAs using tool 896, update IRA balance information. This includes 1099 reporting to beneficiaries who receive distributions, information such as new warning messages and new verification reports. And there's a reference for IRA processing booklet.
So all this documentation that we're talking about here, plus more, will be in that IRA processing booklet. You know, I just went to a year-end processing guide meeting this morning, and I do want to say this is coming at a great time. This is the time where we need to start thinking about our IRA information and running reports and updating the tool.
Excellent. You can record distribution tracking for Roth IRAs.
Through that tool, geez.
Yes, through that tool, yeah.
I kind of stopped us in the middle.
Okay, next we're going to talk about escrow disbursing process improvements.
Enhancements on tool number 342, disperse funds through to escrow payee. So before, or currently, I always say before, I feel like it's already happened, but currently the suspend option was a bit difficult. We've now made that easier. So we have the option to suspend all and reactivate all. So now you have the ability to go in and suspend everybody or reactivate everybody. We've also added a payee code, position to account field, the inquiry button, and the freeze column. So this is all indicators that you can see here. We've added the ability to position to account, which is what we call jump to a record. You see that in numerous search screens. Sort columns, that works just like our normal sort, where you click on the column and that will sort it. We do have column toggles, the policy ID and tax ID, which will toggle between the two. I think right now you can see tax ID, so now we've added policy ID and that's a toggle. You also have the balance amount and the scheduled amounts, those are a toggle. So we've condensed a few fields, but we've also made them, or so we could add more, excuse me, indicators. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. We display current balance and scheduled balance. That used to be a toggle. I read that backwards, I apologize. So we changed the policy and tax ID to be a toggle so we could allow for current and scheduled to be separate. All right, another enhancement to tool number 342 is dispersing funds to escrow payee. And we're just giving you here how the option to reactivate all is going to work. So at this time, once we click reactivate all, you'll get a warning message that says all escrow payments will be activated. Activation of frozen records will be prompted. So any accounts that are frozen will then jump to this next screen, say you are about to reactivate escrow payment 4, and then it will give you the account.
And so here you'll see that after entering your credentials, selecting the first override option, hitting enter, you will either be prompted to reactivate another frozen account or sent back to the process disbursement to escrow payee screen.
We also now have, like I said in the prior screen, that we have the new feature to suspend all. Once you choose that option, you then get the confirmation message, all escrow payments will be suspended, and then you just click suspend. We also now have the escrow disbursement report is enhanced. We've added the flag for suspended accounts. You're able to see when the account is suspended. It's right down here, so if it's suspended, there's a Y here. There aren't many accounts that were suspended that we could get examples of, so that's what we're showing you here. We separated the active totals from suspended totals, so you're able to see which ones were suspended in the totals, and then we've took that out of the active total. Changes have also been applied to the other escrow reports generated through 20642, so that you will see these enhancements on those other reports as well.
All right, next up, we're going to discuss accounts payable enhancements.
Tool 990, the accounts payable vendors, we've added the date last paid, and the amount last paid, the amount paid year to date, the expense GL, the create 1099, the pay method, which indicates comment on the vendor record. And these are all sortable columns now. So if you can recall what that screen looks like now, it is just the vendor and the vendor name, and that's all we list there. Now we've listed all this information again, so if you are looking at something or you are not sure if you paid them, you can come right in here and look at the date last paid. I like this because when we have credit unions calling and we need to look at the GL, it's listed right here, so we don't have to go further into that screen. Not that we don't enjoy doing our research, but it's very easy to just go right into that screen and then back up or up and out.
Also, we'll see here in the edit accounts payables for vendors that the contract open date is now listed. Also, the contract expiration date and the last change date is clearly displayed.
And I think we found out, oh yeah, we did find out that we said it was the last change date, but it's displayed here, vendor record last maintenance. So we are displaying it, but it's titled vendor records last maintenance.
Okay, next we're going to talk about audit loan insurance, debt protections, protection rate change prior to implementation.
This is a new tool number 1400, the auto loan insurance premium debt protection fees. What we're doing here is we're giving the ability to run it in an audit mode, so you're able to review it before you charge the fee or before you make the changes. So this runs in an audit mode. It does not affect any member loan records. It provides a report of the results for review. You can use for testing rate changes or vendor changes. Same layout as normal post and report for ease of use, so it's easy to review. And then based on the loan balance at the time the audit is ran, so that we're not assuming that it's at the end of the month, beginning of the month. It's based on when you're running it as an audit or a test. Stop payment on general ledger ACH transactions. Take away, Jason.
So currently, when a general ledger payment for your credit union is processed via ACH, there's no way to place a stop payment on them. A new code for ACH stop payments for GL transactions, GS, has been added that can be used on the ACH distribution maintenance screen to stop the payment. These payments will appear as ACH exceptions, similar to the member stop payments coded with an 08 stop payment code.
And I just caught this because it says similar to the member stop payments, member ACH stop payments, because these are not available through phone operator, but they are through the ACH tool. And instead of typing, like it says here, an 08 for regular stop payments, you're going to type a GS. Perfect.
Okay, run single item OFAC scan when no match is found.
Tool number 778, it gives you the ability to scan a single name through the OFAC. And you can either type in tool number 778 or shortcut is OFAC. Using enter will take you back to the initial screen of the tool so you can immediately perform another scan. So these are options of running multiple or running a single item if a match isn't found. So currently when you run an OFAC scan on a single item and a match is not found, using enter takes you all the way back to the tool or menu or the screen. Then you need to enter the tool number again to run the second scan. If a match is found, you will still advance to the appropriate screen that will assist you with the situation. But if you need to run more than one scan at a time, such on multiple companies, you have the ability to keep going if no match is found. All right, any questions? I don't think we really talk about it, do we? Did we talk about it? I don't think so. First of all, we have a question about, did we miss how we'll have to change our dates in our query? I see the note saying we might need to tweak our date, but I don't see how. So anytime that we have changes to files or tables, we always note in there that you might want to check your queries that are related to those dates or related to those, I just lost my train of thought, those tables that are related, any queries that related to those tables or connected to those tables, because there may be information or dates that you need to change. We are more than happy to help you with this. So if you want to reach out to client services or our I forgot what I was going to say, or Asterisk Intelligence to help us with that. But that's more like a warning message saying, hey, if you have any query. First of all, let me go back to is there a form for an ACH stop payment? We do not, COOP does not provide you a form. If you have a form that you want to build on COOP-based, you can, and then you can print it out there, but we do not have an ACH stop payment form. I can check with SRS bookkeeping to see if they have a suggestion on forms that other credit unions use. And then we have one more question on where on the CUAnswers.com site will we see this slide deck and the presentation after it goes through QA. I'm on the release summaries page and don't see it out there for previous releases. It's not posted. We just found out today that the previous recording had the list of attendees blocking half of our presentation. So we were not able to publish it. So we will post it out there, but I can't. It's underneath on videos on demand. It will be out under videos on demand, and it will have the whole recording. So it will have us talking plus the PowerPoint all together. So you should receive this one because I do not believe that we have anything blocking the display of this. So that should be out there. And Dominic, I can shoot you an email. I know that previously you asked for the PowerPoint, but it's now going to be provided out there on the release on-demand videos. And then what about the remote deposit capture section of the documentation? Lori, we will actually, I am going to, I reached out, do you have your release training right here a minute before? I just want to jump out here at that because we did talk about page 12. I reached out to a writing team because we did not have this. We did not have the remote deposit capture, and no, it's still. Unfortunately, there wasn't a screen to show for the Access remote deposit capture. It was still in development when these were being added. So the goal, I think they're just wrapping up with that. So previously we added a conditional button on the timeout window that gave CUAnswers item processing clients quick access to view checks in the item processing check image archive. With the increasing use of remote deposit capture, users wanted a similar handy way to access checks being deposited via RDC. So with this release, we are adding tool number 1650. So that's tool number 1650, work RDC enrollments and pending deposits. And this will take EDOC Innovation clients directly into the EDOC Innovations RDC vault. Now, if a check fails your RDC rules, you can easily approve it without needing to remember your credentials for logging into that website. So we were not able to get a picture of that tool, but I'm going to repeat it again. It's tool number 1650, work with RDC enrollment / pending deposit. Those of you who are with CUAnswers for item processing, you still are going to view that through the timeout window. That was a great question. I appreciate that. And I do need to, I believe, reach out to a couple people in our last release training class for that. All right. Excellent questions. Let's go ahead and hit our miscellaneous.
All right, so we've got some miscellaneous enhancements here. One is to exclude members with written off loans when using Member Connect. Print options added to student loan reports. There are enhancements to range selections on the investment maturity report.
Tool number 497, which is the Member Connect marketing tool. We've added the ability to exclude members with written off loans. So now not only do you get to choose to exclude members flagged for third-party marketing opt-out or excluding members flagged for CU contact opt-out, but you are also able to exclude members with written off loans. The enhancement to the student loan reports, we've added the printer ID, which allows you to choose the printer and the ability to archive them to CUSPI. So through your Hold XX or your Instant XX, which will then eventually move them out to CUSPI. This me? Tool number 407, Investment Maturity Report. The enhancement here is we updated the range selection area. So down at the bottom, we've given more up to six ranges. All right, well, we have reached the end of our release training. Thank you for attending. Please, as we've said previous in the beginning, if you have any feedback to the charts or the dashboard, contact our Asterisk Intelligence at COOAnswers.com. If you have any comments or suggestions for the lending dashboards, we want you to contact lendervp@COOAnswers.com. The Harland Clarke check ordering, that is Earnings Edge. You can contact Earnings Edge with that, as well as Harland Clarke. Our reference material, the release documentation that we've been talking about, that I read the RDC information from, I'm not sure, I know everyone can hardly see us, or maybe not be able to see us at all, but we do have the software documentation, and that can be found under reference material or at www.COOAnswers.com resources, doc and release planning. And again, once the release PowerPoint and video session has been reviewed and make sure everything looks okay, that will be put on the on-demand videos for your viewing, for your other team members who were not able to make it. And that, we're going to stick around for a little bit. If for those of you who do have the review or release documentation, if you want to peruse through that quickly, and if you have any questions, we're going to hang out for a couple minutes and stick around for those that have questions. If you have anything that you've gone through and you feel haven't been answered but asked, we can go ahead and talk about that again. Otherwise, I do want to thank you for attending. And if you do have any questions, please contact Client Services at COOAnswers or at Answer Book, through the Answer Book, and you can contact us through our 800-327-3478, and we're at extension 255. Thank you.